Asia. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate you all and also thank that I've been invited for these historical events. Japan and Africa has long historical relations. In 1930, Japan already started diplomatic relations with several African countries, including Ethiopia. And in 1993, Japan was the first country to start the economic dialogues and the cooperation strategies between Japan and Africa. It's called TICAD, Tokyo International Conference on African Development. And this year we are hosting the 8th TICAD in Tunisia. But through this TICAD, Japan has been cooperating, working together and thinking together for the development of Africa. One of the specific programs is called Abe Initiative, started by late Prime Minister Abe Shinzo in TICAD 6. This is the African Business Education Initiative. Young Africans are invited to come to Japan and take master's course in the Japanese university, then have an internship in Japan and come back to Africa and become a bridge and promote the business in Africa and relations with Japan. Under this Abe initiative, we also had a training program for the head of factories, head of offices to come to Japan. So for this program, the master's course with the internship, we have over 1,300 people from 54 countries. And another program, we have over 1,500 people came to Japan. So we'd like to continue this program so that the economic relation between Africa and Japan will be further strengthened. Economy is not just one area that we're promoting. We're also starting the new idea called NAPSA, New Approach for Peace and Stability in Africa. Japan has been helping the ideas of peace education through UNESCO and also supporting the various peacekeeping centers throughout Africa. We believe in the teaching and the trainings are the center of the development. By having great human resources, you can learn how to fish instead of receiving fish all the time. And this is the program we have been engaged through Japanese government scholarships or through JICA training programs or dispatching JICA volunteers all over Africa, even to the rural communities, to work with the people in Africa. Of course, those volunteers are young people, young and flexible, young and strong. And I think young people can have lots to play. In Ethiopia, we are also sending various experts and trainees to the governments in itself. And I have to apologize that I cannot take part in the panel discussion concerning the startup. So I would like to introduce some of the ideas that Japan has been promoting. In the Ministry of Innovation and Technology, Japan is now sending one expert startup advisor who can work together with the Ethiopian government to formulate the strategies for the startup and also supporting the policy planning. We also send various experts in the ministries like the finance or agriculture to work with those people. So please take advantage of these schemes that are also available in various African countries. I have met 2 Ethiopians who came to Japan when they were young, and they learned how to work hard, how to make networking, and how to become a company head. They become a president. They started their own business in Japan. Then, coming back to Ethiopia, they are starting another business, and they have been successful. And this is a type of experiences that we like to encourage the young people in Africa. Japanese people are not making too much noise, but they work hard. They also try to learn all the time. And this kind of continuous curiosity for the progress and improvement and flexibility and innovation are very important. I'm not young anymore, but in terms of my spirits, I'm always young and flexible. Thank you. But for your physical energy and strength, maybe I lost a little bit, but you, the young people, you still have them. So I wish you would continue to, pursue your goal. For the startup and innovation itself, I would like to remind you that Japan has lost 2 decades after the 1990s. In order to have our economy back, so the government actually promoted innovation and startup and entrepreneurship. The government has to do several things. One was deregulation. So take out all the difficult procedures, make it simple. If you have just 1 yen, you can start the business. No minimum requirement of the fund. Or have a one-stop process for establishing your company. Or subsidies to be given to the companies who are starting up. We have to encourage those entrepreneurs who are interested in starting own business. So the government provide a low interest loan for those companies, that startups, the new entrepreneurs. We'd also like to introduce you that Japan has a special visa called Startup Visa. Instead of having the full-fledged management and visa, which takes some conditions, this startup visa would waive this kind of requirement for 1 year, so that you can just come and start a business in Japan. Once you are registered as a company in Japan, whether you are a foreigner or not, you are also receiving the same subsidies, the same treatment, because you are establishing a company in Japan. So we are giving a fair treatment for whoever comes to Japan. For the future entrepreneurs, I would like to point out that the world trend is go digital, go green, and go inclusive, especially for women. It is not just Japan or in Africa, but anywhere in the world, it is important to take these things in mind. Japan has also contributed for the women, small and medium-sized entrepreneurs here in Ethiopia. And I think the woman takes up half or even more of population, is a great source of a new business, a new entrepreneurship. And as a first Japanese female ambassador to Ethiopia, I'd like to promote the women to take courage and work harder, because I know you will do better. Thank you very much. So I have to go, but I would wish all the best and successful outcome from this 3-day workshop. And Ambassador Gunalo.
Madam Ambassador, arigatou gozaimasu. I hope I said that right. Thank you very much for being here with us. We understand you've been called for an urgent work meeting, so we will excuse you on leaving, but thank the ambassador for being here, honoring the youth, and for being with us. Thank you very much. At this moment, we will hear a speech from the President of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, His Excellency Ambassador Solomon Adodo. Please help me welcome Ambassador Solomon Adodo. Cabo, sir.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, ambassadors, ministers, leaders of various youth organizations gathered from across the continents of Africa and Asia. It's indeed an honor to stand and address you. My name is Solomon Adodo, and I'm the president of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, the largest youth body here in Africa. Today we are convened for the Africa-Asia Youth Forum. And one thing that should go through our minds is how best can our both continents build on our strengths? How best can we look at the areas where we are lagging behind, prune off our weaknesses, and emerge stronger and better? We are in an era of global competitiveness on all fronts. We're also in an era of global crisis. How can we, the youth of Africa and Asia, come together and turn things around for our continents? Now, looking at the demographics of these two continents, we will realize very clearly that we are the most populated continents. By that also, we have the highest population of youth in these both continents. It also portends a superabundance of potentials that can be moved from mere potentials to productivity, to move African countries to the front lines in the Committee of Nations, to move Asian countries also to the front lines in the Committee of Nations. How can we better collaborate in sharing technologies? How can we better collaborate in promoting peace? Because peace is the greatest precursor of development. In the absence of peace, there can be no development. Great youth of Africa and Asia, this is also a very salient wake-up call that we need to double up efforts, particularly under the banner of the Africa-Asia Youth Forum. I'll make some propositions because I believe in taking active steps that the Africa-Asia Youth Forum should have country desks or country representation. We should rise from here with the task that across all the countries of Africa, we should actively set up a steering committee, perhaps an executive. This will be left for the organizers to look into so that we can, beyond the borders of this conference, carry on the resolutions of this conference. Let it reflect on both of our continents. In closing, I'll once again thank the organizers of this great event, OES. I will also want to thank the government of Ethiopia for being courteous, and particularly the youth of Ethiopia. Very welcoming. You have indeed espoused or showcased the true spirit of Africa, the spirit of brotherhood. We want this to resonate across the continent of Africa. We want this to resonate also to our brothers in Asia. I trust that rising from here, a better and a greater, a more productive and a more developed Africa will emerge. An Africa where we will partner better with our brothers from Asia, where we will look at our strengths and build on them. Thank you, and God bless this gathering.
Islam.
Good morning, no, good afternoon, and salam. No. So I'll be brief and informal. First, let me take this opportunity to thank the organizers of this very important event, OES, for inviting me and our others, and inviting everybody and bringing us together. And also, let me take this opportunity to thank the government of Ethiopia for lending a very strong hand to this important cause. And also, when I am thanking government of Ethiopia, let me take this opportunity to thank or congratulate Ethiopia for their recent triumph at World Athletics Championship, finishing at the second out of 179 countries. So when I was youth or young, because now I am old, so I also personally envy the youth. So I used to follow Ethiopian athletes, Abebe Bikila, especially, and Haile Selassie. And from there, I had developed a special weakness for Ethiopians. And also, probably many of you don't know that Bangladesh and Ethiopia has 700 years old relations. 700 years ago, 8,000 Ethiopians used to work in Bangladesh, and we had two kings. So we had long relations, and most of them were actually youth. So that's why I'm very happy that this occasion brought us together once again, not only old like us, also the youth. And I could not agree more with the Honorable Minister who was here, that when she told that youth are not the leaders of tomorrow, they are actually leaders of today. And I also think the same way. There are almost 1.2 billion, more than 1.2 billion youths in the world right now. At any given point of history of the world, we have more number of youths in the world. And 90% of them are actually living in the developing countries. And the region from where I come, Asia and Pacific, actually harbors 60% of the world's youth. And together with Africa, probably we are almost all the youth of the world you will find in Asia and Pacific. So it is very important that whatever we do for youth, Asia and Africa should be together. For youths, what do we do? First, we have to give them guidance. Then we have to give them education, then training, and ultimately the employment. So considering the current situation of the world is in upheaval and in turmoil. So probably there is no better time for us to guide the youth. There are a lot of distractions, lot of forces to deviate them, like social media and other things, extremisms. So we have to guide them well. And then comes education. Because when I talk about education, I'm not talking about the formal education. I'm talking about formal education and also the moral education, where youth can develop themselves and respect others, not only others in their own country, they can respect others globally, other cultures, other religions, because now youth are very vulnerable. You see, sometimes they fall victim to the forces of extremism. We have seen it in Africa, in Asia, and different parts of the world. So we have to be very careful and we have to be very focused on this point. And while we were waiting there, we were also discussing one very important thing. While we are discussing youth, a huge part of youth is actually, I'm not saying mentally handicapped, they are differently abled. So we have to think about them as well, that a big part of youth now are differently able, and we have to have special program and focus on them. Like in Bangladesh, our Honorable Prime Minister, she introduced that all the greeting cards and calendars and other things must contain paintings by differently abled youths. So we are following this. So this is a small way. And when it comes to empowerment of youth and women, probably Bangladesh can claim a very strong position. Right from the independence of Bangladesh, when we had our War of Liberation under the clarion of our father of the nation, 3 million people laid down their lives within only 9 months. And we had this independence due to the contribution of our youths. So we are very much involved when it comes to the causes of youth. So then comes employment. When we talk about employment of the youth, we have to think of the future of work as the work of the future. So within 20 years, 1/5 of the work that we have now will be lost. There will be new kind of work. So we have to train youth in such a way that they can also cater to the need of the future. So we have to also think about that when we want to educate them or guide them. So I think I have taken a long time. So again, I want to thank the organizers and also everybody. And I wish every success of this event and of this effort, and Bangladesh will be with you all the way. Thank you. I'm Saganalo.
We're back once again. We do thank all of you for being here. At this moment, we do have a keynote address, and it is somebody that I'm privileged to invite to the stage. I'll tell you a little about him, but I'll have somebody else introduce him because I want him to do him justice and for you to know very well so that you can truly benefit from his address. He's globally certified in GPHR. We actually have 1,100 experts around the world, and he's one of them. And also SPHR in SCP, HR lead executive director and a business head at Ethiopian Steel PLC, Safal Group East Africa. I'm not going to tell you yet. So let me invite to the stage a global educator who's been educating in 4 countries. Also, she has been instrumental and a great help in making this event a reality as well. She's taken a great part in it. So please help me welcome Hetal to come and introduce our keynote address guest. So please help me welcome Hetal.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. It is actually a privilege and honor to introduce this person with whom I have spent 23 years of my life. He is a 48 years young, very young person. After we met, he became the youngest dean and director of an MBA college. And out of the 40 subjects, I remember he taught almost 11 subjects. Yes, youth, for doing things for youth. That is one thing that has always inspired him, motivated him. I remember him writing recommendations, engaging, inspiring the students, and ensuring that they succeed. That was in Asia when we were in India. And then he moved to Africa, and Africa is home. It is close to our hearts. In Africa also, the initiative of leadership development, homegrown leaders, actually creating a lot of employment opportunities is what he has been striving for. And this is Bhavesh Chandaria for you here.
It's an honor to be introduced by your beloved. And everybody over here, can we raise our hands, please? Everybody over here. And do a beautiful task of petting the next person next to you. Yeah, we are here because we believe in tomorrow. We are here, my dear friends, thank you. We are here because we create tomorrow, isn't it? We want to create tomorrow. And tomorrow belongs to Africa, tomorrow belongs to Asia. Isn't it? Isn't it? So, there are two kinds of fools in this world. One category of fools is like me, I enroll for that, who advises. With the hope that you don't become the second category who don't take this advice. Can I have your right to speak further, or you want to cut it here? Do you need some advice? Guys, are we cool? Cool. Startup. My message to youth is simple. Wake up before you start up. I am not addressing this youth over here who has come all the way from various corners of the world and Ethiopia. I am talking about those youth who are entitled. I'm talking about those youth who feel that the food should be served on the table. While the future is with the youth, I want to tell few things that I wish youth would do today. Youth starts with why. Y-O-U-T-H. I want to just add one more in your attitude. Why not? Whenever something is asked to be done, youth, they ask why, which is good. Simon Sinek says, ask why. I agree with you. But now the possibility youth of Africa, my dream youth of Africa and Asia should ask why not. Everything is a possibility, isn't it? And replace why, ask why, that's fine. You should be convinced mentally. You should be engaged mentally, my dear brother. But why not means I can make it happen. So I would configure this talk of 8 minutes, what I've been provided, into the first thing what I want youth to do. Wake up and get up. Be ready to toil. Be ready to exercise. Be ready to stretch. Can we move? Are you logged into this or? Okay, with 6 minutes, I don't know what to do, but let's go to the next slide. Let's go to the next slide. Next slide. Africa? Anybody wants to say, what is this? Describe this. Describe this. Yeah. Is it good, bad, ugly, chaotic, orderly? How does it look like? Vibrancy of Africa. What do you feel when you watch this picture? Chaotic? Huh? All right. So when I was, Catherine Duggan of ALU shared this slide with me. And she said, when she first time saw this in Kampala, she said, what chaos? What chaos? And you know what? We're discussing Africa at that time. Chaos. Beyond chaos is courage. Beyond courage is clarity. And that's how success comes. Can we go to the next slide and look at the Google picture? You see organization there? You see there's a pattern? That's Africa for you. That's Asia for you. We don't come like European orderness, but for finding order in Africa, you need to have the heart, you need to have the vision and the patience. And you see, this is very orderly designed. And this transports Africa, isn't it? So, yeah. So what I want to tell Africa is be capable. We endure hardship and we are happy people, Asia, Africa, isn't it? I've seen a video of Bangladesh train with many people on the top, might be an outlier, but we endure laughingly the hardships of the world because we never colonized anybody, did we? We did not colonize anybody. Yeah, we are still feeding the world with raw material. And my next dream is from body to brain, from work hard to work smart. So my first message to youth is, please wake up, be ready to toil. Opportunities might not come to you, but there are many things. Her Excellency Dr. Argogi said today, ambassador from Japan, Santa Korea said today, volunteerism. Before you get your first job, asking salary is not important. I interviewed one person from Bihar, India, and in our interview form, there was a question. I'm talking about 1997. There was a question, salary. In your interview, there's a question, salary, yeah? And he answered, yes, if you can please give me. What we meant to ask is, what is the amount of salary you want? And what did he say? If you can please give me. But if you don't give me a chance to learn. My first job at a very high level institution, they gave me photocopying business for 2 days to lower my MBA ego, to make me humble. And then they told, now you are ready. So I have written diaries, I have driven cars, I have, in order to get space with my big people, to get the time, I used to stop at one place in Mumbai at early morning, 6 o'clock. And my problem is I can't wake up, so I'll never sleep that night. Because that person who was my mentor would meet me between 6 and 6:45. By the time he starts from Andheri to Worli in Mumbai, one place, traffic. And in that, I would exchange my ideas, get opportunity, get projects. So first message to students is volunteer, to ministers, volunteers to boss, do internship, learn, 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 learn. My second message to people is those who don't read have no advantage over those who can't read. There is no difference between people who are blind or illiterate and you people who are literate, but you do not read. Nowadays, reading or lesson comes even in a microbyte, on a TED Talk, on a YouTube. You may listen and learn. Please learn. What I find missing in my African brothers, I have worked in Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and now Ethiopia, and I have taught in Malawi, South Africa, and Uganda, including these 4 countries where I worked, and India. What my brothers and sisters, what you have impatience for irresolution. What is impatience for irresolution? In a 90-minute sitcom or a Netflix series, you want everything: struggle, romance, suspense, victory and death, and victory and romance, and everything in 90 minutes. Life doesn't unfold that quickly. Have patience. Have patience, because solutions don't come quickly. So my first thing is learn, learn, learn. Now, please understand, learn is only 35% of the whole journey. My second message to you is think and reflect. When did you pause from your Instagram to stop and think on what you learned? Because you learn not from learning, you learn from thinking about learning. Are we together? Are we together? Are we thinking, or we have delegated that? IBM had a motto called think. My message to youth is think, reflect, learn, patience, reflect, write notes. I also write notes today at my age. What did I learn? What was my earlier impression? How did I improve it? So that's my second message to you. The third message to you is wait to bounce. The opportunities will come to you. There are plenty of opportunity. We are on the threshold of a lot of opportunity. You know what is agriculture today? The farmer gets only 1/4 of the profit than the middleman or the channel that gets. Why can't youth innovate the cold chain, the supply chain of farming? Why can't youth do delivery like most of the world is doing today? I like flowers. Addis is known for flowers, but nobody is delivering flowers home. Likewise, in other countries. So what I'm trying to tell you is, look at where are the gaps. Don't be businessman, business person, or businesswoman. Be an entrepreneur. Who's an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is a person who finds a gap in humankind and solves the gap profitably. A business person, in a rude manner, if I have to say, would definitely look for profit, but might not solve big problems. They do, but an entrepreneur or a social entrepreneur do solve problems. Find out where the problems are, solve them. Reach out, wait, wake up, think, learn. These are some messages that I want to give to the youth. Secondly, multilingual. Most of us are bilingual, but please learn languages today. Communication is very important. You have a great idea, but if you are not able to communicate, and when I say communicate, Twitter-size communication. I did not have time to write a long letter, so I wrote a short letter. Mark Twain. Brevity is the soul of wit. How to shrink your thought in an elevator speech. If you get a chance to meet Mr. Mayur, who is the founder of Mohan Corporation over here, in an elevator takes 45 seconds. And he can give you a great job. But how do you impress in 45 seconds? For that, you need 45 hours of thinking. Rotating your thought, iterating, and talk only those few words which make an impact. Because you never get the second chance to make the first impression. You're getting my point? So youth, you need to do that. So these are some lessons. Another trend that I want policymakers in Africa and Asia to de-skill the whole economy and generate a lot of employment and entrepreneurship is do a franchise model, which the Western world is doing, where we get a predictable service. Why can't we have Tomoko everywhere in Africa? Same experience, predictable. And by franchise model, you can generate a lot of micro entrepreneurs who are part owners. The West has adopted it very well, and there's something that we can improve. So I would expect the youth to chase franchise model as well. And I would expect the industrialists to start such models whereby you become partners in the truest sense. I would want policymakers to make 3 or 4 things to generate youth and employment and entrepreneurship. Number one, there is no ecosystem of identity or KYC. I know there are many projects going with digital ID in many countries, but many countries don't have. We need to have an ID. We need to have banking proliferation, which is not yet done in many countries. We need email as a valid communication, legally valid communication. It is not done today. So we need credit access, which is done through many government schemes, but it is just not enough. We need to have more of these. And we need startup support. Mudra scheme of India is amazing. Rwanda is doing a great job with startup. You see, every bike in Rwanda has an ID number, unique number. And the bike rider carries 2 helmets in Rwanda. I have set. And the second helmet is for the other person. During COVID, they worked. And it's so organized. You are fearlessly doing. My wife can walk in a Rwandan street at 2 a.m. in the morning without fear. Safe country. So I'm inspired by Rwanda, Singapore. Both are world's role models in developed nations. All of you youth should study that. I don't know how much time I have. Accordingly, I can configure my talk. If you want me to end, I'll end. I just want to tell, my talk was all over the place. You can't solve the problem of youth and entrepreneurship in a given time frame. We need policymakers to do something. But more than that, I tell you, youth, I ask you one question. What is the difference between run and ruin? Anybody? Not you. What is the difference between run and ruin? R-U-N and R-U-I-N. Run means you are successful. Ethiopia runs. Gide made us proud, isn't it? We run and we rule the world, isn't it? And ruin means damaged. The difference between run and ruin is I. I is me. Youth, stop being entitled, millennials. Okay, I'm sure you will feel bad, but you are here. You are not entitled. You are here because you want to progress. But there are many others who sit that the ready-made platter should come. Please, 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 please. Wake up before you start up. That's my message. Think, reflect, read, learn, talk precisely after a lot of reflection. Look around the opportunity, solve a humankind problem, and profitably so. These are my some messages to give to youth in a short talk. I'll get other opportunity later on. I want to thank everybody for being here. And once again, everybody raise your hands. And now pat your back. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bahafish. I think he deserves a bigger round of applause. It's always a pleasure to have you here with us, Bahafish, and the energy you fill the room, and then the motivation as well. So thank you for gracing us with your presence. We will now have a panel discussion on youth and entrepreneurship, concepts that make our hearts beat faster, or it should at least. To moderate this panel, I would like to invite Director at United Nations Association at United Nations International Trade Center, Mr. Samuel Fekete. Please give him a warm round of applause and welcome him to the stage. I will introduce your panelists, and I will leave the stage to you, Samuel. As for panelists, we have Acting Director, General Entrepreneurship Development Institute of Ethiopia, Dr. Hassan Hussein. Please give him a warm welcome. A professional development trainer, we have Mr. Tesfa Mikhail Desta. Please welcome him to the stage as well. And lastly, we have convener at Financial Fitness Clinic in Lagos, Nigeria, Mr. Frank Samuel. Please welcome Mr. Frank to the stage as well. I will now leave the stage to the moderator.
Okay, I think this is us, right? Are we expecting another person?
We're expecting Mr. Frank, but I don't see him, so maybe we can proceed already.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello. How are you? Thank you for coming, and thank you for inviting me, OES Global, and congrats on this huge event. And I wish you all the success on the next discussions, presentations, and the speech. My name is Samuel. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'll be moderating this panel, and hopefully, and I'm sure we're gonna have a great time. My name is Samuel. I'm from the UN Association of Ethiopia, working as a director. It's an organization that is working to enhance the relationship between Ethiopia and the UN. So there are different UNAs around the world, UNA USA, UNA Canada, and we established the UNA Ethiopia, and we have now working in youth, sustainable development goals, human rights, and peace and security, and so on. And especially focusing on young people and empowering young people. We have different chapters in different universities, and some of them are here at the event. And beside that, I'm also working with the UN International Trade Center based in Geneva. We work with the startups, IT and BPO companies, entrepreneurship, and so on. So this is basically my background. It's really an honor to be in this panel. I would like to give the opportunity for you to introduce yourself, and we dive into the discussion.
Hello, my name is Hassan Hussein. I am the acting director of the Entrepreneurship Development Institute. The institute came into being this year, bringing together two programs that were in place since 2013. I returned to Ethiopia after 28 years of exile 4 years ago after the change. I guess that would do it.
It's already good afternoon. I would like to be honored and express my deepest congratulations and welcome all of you to this amazing forum, Africa, Asia, the young generation to uplift greater. I'm Tesfa Mikael Desta, just working for about 8 years in personal development training and education, as well as I'm involved as an entrepreneur at Minas. So glad to be here and to have a great session. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. My name is Dr. Adegboyega Bamishile. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a social entrepreneur, come politician. I hope to share my journey into politics with you, from business to politics. Thank you very much. It's an honor and a privilege.
All right, so the topic that we're going to be discussing, I don't know if you missed the introduction, it's youth and entrepreneurship, which is really important topic in talking about relation between the two continents, Africa and Asia, as well as the young people. So I just want to, I know you all have a background in business, startups, tech, and everything, maybe building in the startup ecosystem. Maybe I don't want to start in downing the audience, but it's really important to also talk about the challenges. So from your background and experience, let's highlight what are the challenges in this trend, and maybe we can dive into the solutions after all.
The primary challenge that I see with regard to entrepreneurship in this country is the mindset of our youth, which is the result of maybe 2-3 generations. We have come to expect everything from the government, and if you don't have a job, it's the government's fault. If things are not running right, for everything, the government is there to blame. I'm not saying the government is not blame-free. Of course, the government has a lot of things to do with the economic and social problems we are having in this country. But for us to be able to get out of these problems, the youth have to take responsibility. There are ample opportunities for entrepreneurship in this country, but our youth need to be woken up to see and realize these opportunities.
Thank you. I think that is a really important point. I just want to highlight on your point. I think that was also something that was mentioned on our previous speaker, the mindset of the young people and seeing the problem as an opportunity. And I think that is the mindset that the young people need to develop. When we see, as a young person myself, when we see a problem and basically taking that as an opportunity and having that entrepreneurship mindset, that is basically one of the definitions of entrepreneurship. And from my experience here in Ethiopia, that is, I think, one of the big thing that we missed. I mean, it's been trending, it's been developing the past couple of years, but that is one of the key challenge, I would say, especially here in Africa.
Thank you very much. As you started, especially what are the challenges on young, especially on such kind of platform not to be involved or to be involved actually. I can say, as you know, here in Africa and Asia, I do have also friends like today we have here in organized manner, but we have friends also from different countries, especially from Africa and Asia. When I communicate with them and working with them, the common background I see is that, especially on mind programming, it's not done here in Africa, mind programming. You see, now we are alert on mind programming about how we can be abundant, how we can merchant, or we can be a research of what we have in our potential. Our God or Allah gave us an amazing potential, so we can use it, the potential. But in society or in our families, it's not, I cannot say you it's deliberate, but undeliberately, there is a programming. You can't or you can't do like this. It's not up to you, or it's not up to do like such aspects or perspectives are here, I can say. So in order to make it solved, family is the center. The first and the prior is the family. We come from family, then society, then throughout the country, and also we can say continent and worldwide. If it is done starting from family, the young generation can be an amazing, and we can use our mind perfectly. It doesn't mean that we can change our world only with one kind of attitude. We have a different aspects. We do have different kind of attitudes. So merging in one, I can say you merging point. So it can be a miracle word actually. So in young people, it's the main thing, and the prior, the challenging is in mindset, like he told us, the mind programming from the prior, I can say that means. Later on, it's already open. If it is government agencies or government offices, or the hierarchies happen in any kind of countries, it can be very easy for the young to participate in businesses, for a young to participate in entrepreneurship, and also a young to participate in every aspect of fields, I can say that means. So I do have such kind of suggestion. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think it's more of the similar point in terms of mindset and having the right mindset to jump into the entrepreneurship and business world and seeing a problem and again taking that as an opportunity. My brother from Nigeria, maybe seeing it from your country and the ecosystem there, what do you think are the challenges beside the mindset both gentlemen mentioned?
Thank you very much. So I ended up working for a man that I went to interview. He's Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is the foremost presidential candidate in Nigeria for the upcoming election in 2023. I embarked on a research attempting to understand, why the youth demography, which constitutes largely the highest numbers in most populations in Africa, have been neglected, so far. And some of the things that I discovered were extremely, extremely surprising. But this was coming on the heel of a project that we did for the young farmers in one of the regions in Nigeria. It's a program that was sponsored by the Central Bank in Nigeria, the Anchor Borrower program, and I had direct interactions with over 2,000 farmers. Essentially, we were to cultivate 2 hectares of maize, and we were to sign contracts with off-takers of our produce. And it was pretty simple, streamlined project, but it was a real struggle with the young people to get them to do this successfully. So I began to think, is the problem with the project? Is it the policies? Is it the young people? Is it their mindset, like the previous speakers have highlighted? And so that led me to meeting this man who had taken some interest in. And I realized from my thesis so far that the young people need to have young people in government. That way we can formulate better policies that will impact our demography. We know what we want. So far, we've had an older population of parliamentarians in the Federal House of Representatives in Nigeria and the Senate. And that has hugely kept us at a disadvantage because they struggle with the kind of policies that would drive the Nigerian economy. We moved on to trying to understand why the young people shied away from politics, because policies actually, whether we like it or not, control even the business environment. If the policies are favorable, then your business thrives essentially. So we realized that most of the policies that the current administration and the older folk were, proposing were not youth-friendly or business-friendly. So, and the young people also were not participating in politics. So we realized that the problem came from the support that the young people do get or don't in participating in politics. In Africa, it's got a lot to do with the kind of resources that you're bringing. So again, the young person is disadvantaged even if he has very strong aspirations. And, how then are we able to tackle this? My submission or proposal, if you like, is we have young people in the fintech. I think one speaker highlighted that the young Africans are very creative. Young Asians are extremely creative. And this is a billion-dollar sector. The only thing here is the participants and the major stakeholders in that sector, who of course are largely young people, startups and the rest of it, have not recognized the importance of supporting their counterparts in politics. I call them the endangered species because they hardly have any chances of survival in the political space. And if we don't do something about this kind of synergies, like as a matter of urgency, we will continue to see the 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, even 80-year-olds dominate the political space and by extension, the policy-making arena.
Okay, thank you. Just to add a few points on your suggestion, I think one of the challenges is not only Nigeria, I think this is mostly in most of the African countries, and especially here in Ethiopia, the policy aspects of the startup and business sector. So there's a policy act here in Ethiopia currently in the House of Federation, soon to be announced, the startup policy. And when we did a consultation on the startup, we saw the gap, as you mentioned, it's usually the people in the government that are not usually young, that are advising on that are coming up with the policies. And we saw the gap between the incubation centers, the accelerators, the business entrepreneurs and the young people, and how that policy was enhanced, So it was really important to narrow that gap between the actual policy that is coming out for the young people and for the startups, but also making it and before announcing it to the country. And now that we are almost close to announce the startup policy here in Ethiopia, it was really important to have that inclusiveness of the young people. What do you think about this policy? This is gonna be announced for you people and for the young people, and this is gonna affect your day-to-day work, your businesses, and how do you want this to be? This is not more giving a decision for them, but being inclusive of what they think about the policy. And it's really important. And for that to happen, I think you've mentioned it's also important to have young people involved in the government and in decision making, because trust me, it's really different when we have decision makers that are young, that are concerned about the young people and making decisions for young people. I think this is not only for the startup sectors or for the business sector, but it goes beyond that sector into different areas. So it's solutions for young people. And thank you very much for highlighting that. I think there are also different challenges that I would say that our speakers didn't highlight. Maybe if I given the chance to maybe mention in them. It's really important to have the policy side. It's really important to have the mindset, but also we need to have that fertile ground for startups and for young people in order for them to be successful. I've been in the startup ecosystem for almost a decade and leading incubation centers, working with young people. And this, what you mentioned, is also one of the gaps. Even the ecosystems, investment, access to finance are really a big challenge in this area, but here I'm a moderator, so I will not be diving into detail on that. So what are the solutions? Not only the solutions in the mindset, but also the other solutions in the problems that I've mentioned. Let me start with you.
Thank you very much. You emphasize very critical points, especially the startups for young people. It's a good news actually for participant youngsters, that means young people working in different aspects. It's good, but the first thing, it should be the government officials or the in different sectors, the administrative or executive persons should understand that for the people who are supposed to participate on the different business platforms or entrepreneurship, etc., it should be given essential orientation for what is supposed for the startup is given. The main, if somebody knows the purpose, the aim, especially what to do, how to do, when to do, and more, it is sustainable for sustainable development or for sustainable life existence of him or herself or the society as a whole. So it should be full oriented on orientation, especially. That is the main thing. As you explained, the courses, orientations, the brainwashing, it should be given. If it is like that, the purpose is already clear. If the purpose is clear, the person who is participating on that, he knows the target or the goals. He can participate very well. He can gain more. He can assure, or I can confidently speak that purposely, he can be beneficial. The society will be beneficial. The country as a whole, the continent, and etc. will be beneficial, I can say. So it's a good news, I can. And the main, as you explained it, what's the solution? One is solution, that one. The second is the market connectivity. Now we are here from Asia, from Africa. It's good news for young to participate very well, and connectivity is high. Am I right? It's very sure there is a connectivity, and much more can be done from this session and etc. So if there is a market connectivity, according that means the hierarchy we do have until early right, that means it shouldn't be on a circle, or I can say it on surrounding. It should be beyond that one. So if it is like that, the young is satisfactory, on the results, I can say. Thank you for that one.
All right, I think that thank you for your points. As you've mentioned, more of an orientation, support for startups is also one of the key solutions, I would say. Here in Ethiopia, again, since I'm based in Ethiopia, I could only give an accurate example from my country. Here in Ethiopia, we have incubation centers and accelerators. And that was really developed for the past 5 years, 6 years. If you come and ask one citizen in Ethiopia saying incubation center, business startup, they would say, what is an incubation? So we had to explain in detail, egg incubation, chicken, we had to go that road in explaining an incubation center. But now it looks like things are changing. The young people are really familiarizing with the supporting ecosystem in Ethiopia. And as you've mentioned, it's really important to have the support or more of a fertile ecosystem for young people to start their business. Not only, for example, there are many young people that are graduating from universities, hundreds of thousands in Ethiopia and millions in Africa every year. And all have, not all, but I would say most have a business idea or even an organization idea. They want to start something. But where should they go in order to get an accurate steps and an accurate, right way of doing business, market penetration, marketing, business plan, all those things, where are they going? So that is one of really, I would say, an important thing to consider is an incubation center supporting that are startups, not only incubation, but other programs. But also you've mentioned partnership between the two continents. As we all know, I think Asia is more developed in the startup and business area. I was hearing the previous speech from the ambassador from Japan to Ethiopia. She was mentioning that what Japan was doing in their country, they even have the startup visa, which is really interesting, a startup visa. And we're in a way of announcing the startup policy in Ethiopia, which is one step, but you can see how advanced the Asian continent is in the startup area. So it's really important to have this partnership experience sharing from the two continents, but also business B2B partnerships between the two continents as the Asian continent is more advanced in this sector. So the support for the startups and the business is one of the points that you mentioned, and the partnership and the connectivity between the startups in Ethiopia or in Africa and the Asian continent. And what are the solutions from your side?
Well, to pick on the point raised by my colleague from Nigeria, in Ethiopia, our politicians tend to be younger, but as far as entrepreneurship and youth empowerment goes, I don't think we are doing any better. I think as far as the solution is concerned, we have to go back to fixing our education system. We have a lot of young people graduating with all kinds of degrees, but without the skills necessary to land in lucrative jobs or to start their own businesses. I think that's the first thing. The second thing is, this also goes to politics. We have to work on creating a more conducive and enabling environment, policy and regulatory environment that would encourage people to start their own businesses and grow them. Our public service, our regulatory service, their default answer to any kind of new initiative is no. I think someone was mentioning how we need to ask why not. I think our bureaucracy need to be reshaped, redesigned actually. The paradigm has to shift. Not only should young people ask why not, I think the public sector, the regulatory sector should also ask why not, because that is a big obstacle to starting and growing businesses. Perhaps a third solution is working on access to finance. Our financial system is developing. There are close to 35 commercial banks in the country, both public and private. But if you look at the kind of people they serve, it's not more than 1,000 people. Young people with creative ideas, innovative ideas are not getting the finances they need to start and grow their finances. I think we need to fix our financial system so that people with ideas, young people with creative ideas could be funded. Thank you.
All right. I think access to finance is also one of the challenges, but I would say also a solution. Here in Ethiopia, we don't have that much of angel investors, local angel investors. I don't know the term angel investment, and I don't know how to translate it in Ethiopia. Maybe በአማርኛ ሀብታም አጎት እንበለው. Angel investors. There's a coalition of Adaba angel investors that are investing the up and coming startups at the early stage, pre-revenue, but also access to finance from the bank to VCs into angel investment, and also education is also one of really important solution. And maybe my brother from Nigeria, what are the solutions you would suggest in a few minutes?
Solutions for access to finance.
Not only access to finance, but generally from the challenges that we've been discussing earlier on.
Okay, so like Bhavesh Chandaria mentioned, we need to wake up to start up. It's one thing to be given an offer. It's another thing to understand what's on offer. I think largely Nigeria also has numerous tech centers, clinics, incubation, centers. But I think we've had collaborations with Google. Mark Zuckerberg was in Nigeria. I don't know what's happened with some of those things. Of course, some of them might have been successful. And essentially, I think I have to always go back to, what happens with the government and how they create an enabling environment for the young people. Most of the young people in Nigeria are very driven, and in Africa at large, same with Asia, but some of our Asian counterparts may harbor certain fears in bringing their investment to Nigeria, for example, or to other parts of Africa, having understood the level of instability and how, for the most part, the government in Africa operates. So we need to make these fundamental, corrections. You know what they say, as you lay your bed, so you lie on it. Once we're able to do this, then we can start, gradually to introduce some of the changes that we like to see. But if we started to just, try to patch things up at any rate, we would continue in that vicious cycle. Access to funding, the government herself in Africa is struggling with making their fiscal policies and monetary policies. We left Nigeria about 24 hours ago, and I can tell you that in less than 1 week, the spike in the exchange rate of the dollar to the naira was very astronomical. You know, it went from something like 595 to 700 at the time that we departed. So what would a potential investor think of that kind of economy? You know, I'd like to see a situation where our central banks are more proactive. I mean, there's no point storing our foreign reserves in the United States if we're getting a lot of our end user products from Asia, China, for example. You know, I'd like to see a situation where we move our foreign reserves into the Asian market. If a lot of our commodities are coming from that market, it would help us to hedge against, you know, these kind of fluctuations in the market. And it is only at that point that, you know, prices are driven lower, cost of production is driven lower, purchase power is increasing. The central bank then can, you know, settle down and look at very viable proposals that startups are bringing, you know. But right now, they're chasing figures here and there, and it's almost unsettling for them. So it's quite understandable. A lot of these things have to do with, you know, governance and policies.
All right.
Thank you
so much. So I've been told that my time is up. So I want this panel to be really engaging. So that's where I was thinking to have more of a question from audience, but I'm gonna take one question from one young people. I encourage women, female participants, as the panel is really female. I'm joking, well. If not, one male. One male or female, all right.
I'm audible? Okay. My question is that we've been talking about entrepreneurship, and in Pakistan, we are collaborating with all the genders nowadays, male, female, transgenders, and we are bringing them into the working capacity, that how they can boost their economical status. So how can these institutes like yours can collaborate between the two countries in order to give youth and all the genders incorporating and building a format where we can come together and raise the issues related to economy? Second question is that entrepreneurs normally, they come across financial issues, and we were going through a global setback by the COVID-19. So what are the main issues and that the youth can overcome in order to continue their work? I mean, they should not depend on the investors solely, and how can they be self-sufficient in the hours of global pandemics or the economical setbacks? Thank you so much.
As far as I think the first one is the easiest question. I think we have exchanged business cards. We just have to sit down and form the partnership. I think we have a lot to learn from each other. We both have a large young population, and entrepreneurship is perhaps the only way for us to walk out of some of the serious problems that we are facing as a society. As far as your second question is concerned, I'll still go back to my previous comment about mindset. From my experience, if a young person has the right mindset, has attitudes and the behaviors of successful entrepreneur, they will find a way to overcome financial problems. Actually, at EDI, previous to this year, we used to say we provide access to finance, but we really did not until this year. And we focused on training young people through an experiential and behavioral methodology, working on their attitude, on their behavior, on how to set goals, how to assess opportunities around them. And what we have come to realize is that there are ample opportunities around them, from family, from friends, from neighbors, from schoolmates. I think, best of all, they also can start small and scale up as they gain experience. So I wouldn't take financial hurdles as a deal breaker. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Just to add one point on this regard, I think I've been adding one point that can be 20 points and all. Just to add one point on this, especially in the question in regards to COVID and the rising after that. I think one of the things that I saw in Africa is the rise of the gig economy. The gig economy in the outsourcing, which is, I was talking with the ambassador from Bangladesh earlier, that we saw that huge change in the gig economy because, for example, Netflix or Facebook has hundreds of thousands of employees in India and in Bangladesh and so on. So that rise in the young people that are graduating in STEM, science, technology, and software engineering are working remotely for a huge corporate and in the US, in China. And that is also one of the opportunities that COVID brought, as I can say, I can assure you here in Ethiopia, but I'm sure it's all in African countries. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you, our amazing audience. You'll get a chance to meet all the speakers in the lunch break or after this. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please once again thank our panelists and our moderator, Mr. Samuel, as well. Please thank him for me. I can see from the way you're clapping that we do need to go for lunch. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will have 1 hour lunch. You all have your coupons right in front of you. The hotel has spread them out. Please have them with you while you go to the restaurant. Our team will guide you on where to go and how to go about it. Let us meet back here in an hour sharp so that we can have a wonderful time together after this. So thank you very much. See you after lunch.
Recording stopped.
you.